What's up, y'all? It's Jullien Gordon. I'm actually here at South Park Cottages in College Park, Georgia, right outside of Atlanta. These are 29 tiny homes that Booker T. Washington, Techie Homes, myself, we built in just about 10 months. We got 2 new projects coming in Union City and 1 in Atlanta proper. This is how we are changing the affordable housing crisis in this country. And this is part of the vision of how we create wealth. Housing is gonna be your biggest expense in your life, right? And so if we can actually decrease that while also giving you a higher quality of living, then that's what we are really about. You feel like you're in Brookhaven right here in College Park. We got blueberries growing right here. We got peaches that you'll be able to grab on your way from the parking lot. This is what we're doing. We have an amazing community of people, entrepreneurs, former WNBA players living on this particular property, and we're just excited about this vision. And so this is one of the ways that I'm committed to building wealth as Mr. Multifamily, right? And so come get on board, check us out at techie-homes.com. That's techie-homes.com. We got a 4,000 people wait list. So if you want one of these, you can get on the wait list. It's gonna be a lottery. So check us out, all right?
What's up, you guys? Welcome back to another episode of the On the Pursuit podcast. I'm Brennan Boyd. I'm sitting here with the man of the hour. This individual, I told him, I pulled up, I felt like I already knew him. I done seen him on so many, when it comes to ads, when it comes to podcasts, speaking engagements, even on stage, man. Yeah. You've done a lot really championing this multifamily movement.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean? So, Mr. Jullien Gordon, man.
Welcome to the be here. Thank you, brother. Yeah, man.
It's amazing, man. So, why don't we just start off really quick? I know, like, if people follow you or if they search you or if they heard your name, they probably already kind of understand your premise of wanting to teach and educate on multifamily real estate. So I do want to talk about that. But I really want to start off, I mean, where are we right now? And what's currently going on, man? Because you have me on this in this nice little spot, but it's like development going on.
Yeah.
So talk about a little bit about where we are and what you're currently working on.
Yeah, so we're actually here at our studio at South Park Cottages. This is a development by Techie Homes. We developed 29 tiny homes in about 10 months. And we have 2 new developments that are happening in Atlanta, one at Union City and the other one in Atlanta proper. So we're gonna be at 100 homes in about 24 months. And so we're growing this company. You know, the real way to true wealth is equity stakes in scalable companies. It's one thing to make high active income, trading time for money. It's one thing to have digital programs and have a cash cow and things of that nature. But when we look at the world's wealthiest people, they have large equity stakes in scalable national companies. And so I'm excited about the vision that Booker T. Washington has created here with Techie Homes. I wasn't here on the ground floor. I came in around the 2nd level, but I'm gonna ride that elevator up and support him in every way possible to expand this vision nationwide.
So let's talk about the wealth creation aspect, right? Because you said some of the wealthiest people in the world, they have these equity stakes.
Yeah.
So what has allowed your mind to shift a little bit to that, or was that always part of your vision when you started to invest in multi-family real estate?
Yeah, I mean, no, that was not always part of the vision. So, you know, when you are on your journey, the first thing is, how can I increase my income? How can I get to 6 figures, right? And so you're looking for ways to increase your active income, and that's through a pay raise, through switching companies, whatever. And then you realize that there's a glass ceiling there, and that no matter how hard I work, it's gonna be hard for me to get beyond a certain level, especially in a larger company where there are actual pay levels and scales that are defined. It's not based on your value, it's just based on how that company lays out its pyramid structure, right? And even when you look at the salary of the person who's at the top, is it what you desire ultimately? And it may be, but are you willing to sacrifice everything that's required to get there? And do you wanna wait? Sometimes in certain companies, especially you get up higher and higher, you have to wait until that person leaves or dies above you before you can actually get to the next level. So to put your financial well-being in the hands of another entity outside of oneself, you realize that there's limitations there. So then that naturally leads to entrepreneurship. For me, that began Actually, it began sitting at my godmother's barbecue restaurant in Hayward, California.
Okay.
It's called Carmen and Family Barbecue.
Is it still there?
Yeah, it's still there. You got to pull up.
They got vegan options?
They barbecue? No. No.
Nah?
Straight pork.
Oh, man, damn.
Straight pork, right?
Wait. Do they got some mean barbecue sauce, though?
Mean barbecue sauce, yes.
I think I rock with
Yes,
that.
at least go get some barbecue sauce. So she actually exposed me to entrepreneurship. Both my parents were doctors, so they followed the Cosby plan, just be good, get good grades, go to good school, get a good job. Yeah. And they were doing well, and that worked for that particular generation. But I saw her and the freedom that she had and how she was able to empower her entire family through entrepreneurship. She put the whole family on. It's called Carmen and Family Barbecue. So we had up to 4 restaurants in Hayward, Fremont, Tracy, and Berkeley, California at one point. And the whole family has been able to be supported based on this one entity, right? So that was my early exposure to entrepreneurship. And then, of course, in college, I read Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And that exposed me to real estate investing and thinking about money differently. And I knew at that moment I wasn't buying a single family home, because at the very same time I was reading that, my mother was actually losing her home in Oakland, California. Today, that home is worth $1.8 million.
It's crazy how like the real estate, well, first of all, real estate in California is crazy.
Yeah.
But I think it's in that Oakland, San Francisco market, it's like ridiculous how much those properties have like grown in value.
100%. I mean, a lot of that money from the valley bleeds up to San Francisco, and then when people can't afford San Francisco, then it goes over to the Bay. It goes over to Oakland, California. So, she had done everything that she was supposed to, but she ended up dealing with a mental health issue that caused her to derail her career. And it's not her fault. It's just literally mental health. And so that's the danger. I realized the danger of having one income, right? Even if it's a high active income, something can happen to you or to the company, and all of a sudden it's gone.
Yeah, it's gone.
And that puts everything that you built in jeopardy. And so I witnessed that. And so I knew I wasn't buying a single family home. And finally, years later, over a decade later, when I was in Brooklyn, New York, I was renting there initially, and I was keeping my cost of living low. I was an entrepreneur at the time, and I saw the opportunity to acquire my first multifamily home. It was a triplex in Bed-Stuy. It was called Do or Die Bed-Stuy at the time.
Facts.
And
I think I've been around that. That way.
At the time I bought it, it's called Do or Die Bed-Stuy, and people are like, why would you buy in a neighborhood that has the word die in it? Well, I saw some of the 30.
Life coming.
It had life coming, right.
You know what I'm saying? Life
it was being resurrected, correct.
Yeah.
So I saw some of the 33 signs of gentrification. This is a framework that I've laid out, so how you can see patterns. I saw the same pattern in Oakland. I saw the same pattern in Inglewood when I was down there at UCLA. And I saw the same pattern in Brooklyn. So when you see the same pattern over and over again, and you missed it the other time because I didn't have capital at that time, you jump on it. And I guessed correctly, or it wasn't even a guess. It was a pattern. It's pattern recognition. It's not a guess. And so that property is up over $500,000 in value since purchasing it about 10 years ago, because I saw the same pattern playing out over and over and over again. And so once I collected my first rent check, I went from paying immediately, just like that, within 3 months of, searching and being under contract and closing, I went from paying expensive rent in Brooklyn to being paid expensive rent in Brooklyn.
Yeah, that's a different. That's a
different feeling. And then on top of that, this is my first passive income stream that's consistent.
So that acquisition, that initial acquisition, was your first cash flow that you didn't have to work for after you purchased the property.
Correct. And when you taste that, it's game over, you know what I'm saying? And so to the audience, you have to ask yourself, would you rather $50,000 in passive income, just say a year for right now, or would you rather $100,000 a year job that you have to go work for? And I'm gonna leave that to the comment section.
Leave a comment below.
Yeah, what do you think?
Y'all want the $100K in salary, or you want the $50K
in passive? Yeah. So I realized that the name of the game was to build your passive income that wasn't based on trading time for money.
Monopoly.
Right, monopoly. And so there's only 4 classes in the United States, and only one of them is free. Right? There's the lower class, there's the middle class, there's the upper class who have high active income. But the other class of people that they didn't tell us about that I've added language to is the asset class.
The asset class.
The asset class are people who their assets cover their cost of living and they are free. And they can still work. They can still go be in the upper class. They can still go make active income, but it's by choice. Not because they have to, right? And so their assets cover their cost of living. Anything that they bring in from their active income is actually play money if they just want to enjoy life in certain ways. And so And then the three types of income that people need, they need their active income, and we want our active income to be as high as possible. You need semi-passive income, and that could be a real estate portfolio that you manage.
Yeah.
And then you need 100% passive income. So you need to define which asset classes you're going to have for each of those. So for somebody, that's going to be my job as my active income. And then I'm going to do multifamily real estate and have up to maybe 10 units as semi-passive that I manage. I'll go run over there and do that thing. And then I'm going to invest in REITs, right? Or something like that. Or I'm going to give
a real estate investment trust.
Yeah, exactly. Or I'm going to do Prosper, where I'm actually loaning out my excess capital to other people. That's going to be my 100% passive, right? So you have to find out which are your three types of income that you're going to have. Again, you're active, you're semi-passive, which means you're kind of involved, but not heavily, and then you're 100% passive.
So you said a lot of things, man, that I definitely want to touch on, but I think one of the main things is, like, how'd you get so smart? And the reason why I'm asking you that specifically, because I know that there's people probably watching this and listening to this, right?
Yeah.
And they're like, yo, listen, that sounds good. Like I want to do that. But you can't do everything all at once. There's levels. You gotta start somewhere, right? So if someone's not investing in real estate, if they don't have a high level of financial literacy, what's a good path that you would lay out for someone to just kind of start getting more familiar with some of the language and then some of the information that you just shared?
That's a great question. How did I learn what I know? It actually started after reading Rich Dad Poor Dad. I decided to start a book club at UCLA, right? In that book club, we read Richest Man in Babylon. We were reading all these financial literacy books. It was called Stocks and Bonds. Sister taking ownership of their knowledge of cash and stocks. And bonds was brothers organizing, networking, dollars and cents.
That's fine.
So we were just a group of men and women who were concerned with financial literacy and trying to build wealth. We went, our first investment was getting CDs. We'd all go get CDs and having our money work at 6%.
So it's like a big financial networking business club that you hold each other accountable.
Yeah, so it was financial literacy well before it became a buzzword. And then we also created businesses. So when Valentine's came along, we would go get roses with chocolate and be selling those on Bruin Walk. We also created time management planners and to help people with procrastination, and we sold those. So we were actually creating businesses and just seeing how we could create businesses from the power of our mind.
And you guys generated revenue inside of the group.
Correct.
And then you also enriched each other with the knowledge. And then I think what's dope is, like, you all read the same book, and I feel like you all made sure you got the lessons from each book.
Correct.
Everyone understood that.
Correct.
To the next book, you had actionable steps.
Yep.
You all contributed to that. So yeah, that sounds amazing.
It was really, really powerful. And what is so beautiful now that I think on it, a lot of those people have become entrepreneurs. One of the members, she actually has a huge hair beauty product store in Los Angeles. You know, that space has been dominated by Asians and are coming into our communities. Yeah. She said, no, we're going to reclaim that. And so she has a huge store there. Another woman has a tutoring agency. So I know that the seeds that were planted there while we were engage in what I call liberal arts education. Liberal arts education is what costs you, right? This is why people have student debt. Shakespeare is not helping you today. What I decided to double down on, even while I was in liberal arts, was liberation arts education.
I like that.
Liberation arts education is the knowledge that will free you. So I would get through my liberal arts education classwork as quickly as possible so that I could invest the other time that I had in college, because really in college you had, 12 to 16 hours of class per week. So I'd be investing that other time into my liberation arts education. And so, and to date, even after graduating from two great institutions, I rarely even state them, because in terms of my success, they don't get credit for my success. I've actually invested more in my own mind and my liberation arts education than I paid in tuition to both of those schools.
What's up, y'all? So I want to take a second to speak to my creators. So whether you currently got a podcast or think about launching a podcast, maybe you got a YouTube channel and you think about launching a YouTube channel, here are the facts. Did you know that 9 out of 10 creators actually quit because they don't have anyone to hold them accountable? That's why all you need to do, right? Click that link below, join my Action Takers community, because not only are we gonna hold you accountable, we're gonna teach you how to execute at a higher level. Plus, give you access to principles and strategies to grow your mindset and generate more revenue. So what are you waiting for? Click that link below and join one of the fastest growing content and accountability communities, all right? I'll see you on the inside. So let me ask you that real quick, right?
Yeah.
Why, and I don't mean to cut you off.
It's all good.
Why do people look at it's a scam to invest in yourself. So if I'm like, hey, Jullien and I, we about to invest 100K into this mentor to learn, I don't know, let's say mergers and acquisitions.
Yeah.
But, we will get questioned or looked at one way with that. But if we took that same 100 and we invested it into a college,
yeah,
everyone's kind of going with that. Why do you think when it comes to personal development, investing in learning that knowledge from a specialist, someone that's doing what you want to do, it's looked at differently than if you just go to traditional college?
Yeah, so it's a couple things. One, because they were scammed by traditional college, and they see the student debt. Hopefully it's been forgiven. I pray that it's been forgiven for you. But they feel like they got scammed already. So they're at a point where they actually don't want to invest more in education because education gets lumped all together. But if you had that same $100,000 that you use for undergrad, $25,000 a year, and you had the power to invest that into the types of programs, courses, and certificate programs that you desired, you'd be a lot further along today, but they put you through a curriculum that is not serving you at this moment in time. So for many people, until they actually relieve themselves of their student loans, they're not willing to invest in themselves at that moment in time. And so that's really what it is. And a lot of people still need the white coat. There's experiments out there that show when somebody comes in with a white coat and doctor and all this, they trust them. That they trust them, and they don't trust practitioners. And so, in this particular space, when you're looking for an educator online, right, you need to look for two things.
You can look right there for them too. That's your man.
When you're looking for an educator online, you need to look for two things. One, are they leading with their lifestyle, as in lifestyle marketing, or are they leading with the lives that they've actually changed, right? So that's first and foremost. And then secondly, you need to find somebody who's not only a practitioner, but also loves educating, okay? Usually there are practitioners who are out here doing the work, building, creating companies. They don't have time to teach. Then there's people who love teaching, but they're actually not practicing. That's what a lot of a liberal arts education is. It's people who love teaching, but they're actually not practicing. And so when you can find somebody who's not only has a passion for teaching, but also is a practitioner at the same time, that is a great combination to look for when you're looking for an educator online that's not certified by some big university, but just somebody who has found you and you found them, and they are asking for payment for their wisdom and knowledge. They are going to turn decades into days. They're bringing all of their experience, their mistakes, their strategies. They're giving you all of that in a condensed way so that you don't have to go through that path.
Yeah.
The most valuable thing to you is time. Whether you pay for their program or not, it's going to cost you. It's going to cost you in terms of time, money, and mistakes. So you can go try to DIY and do it on your own. But the real question is if you could have done it on your own,
you would have done it.
You'd have already done it.
Yeah.
Why haven't you done it yet?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I got YouTube University. I'm just going to watch some YouTube videos. How long have you been watching YouTube videos and you still have not got the result? You can talk about it. You got all the language. Like, if I have Gordon Ramsay's cookbook, right, that doesn't mean I can cook.
Not like Gordon Ramsay.
Not like Gordon Ramsay at all, right? So it's not just about the information. The truth alone will not set you free.
Yeah.
Acting on the truth will set you free. And you really don't get your bumps and bruises until you're actually in the field. And if somebody can help you avoid getting those bumps and bruises, then that's going to actually get you to your desired result a lot faster.
So I guess what I need to do is start wearing a white coat.
Hey, we might have to.
Marketing, right?
We might have to. Yeah, but in marketing, there's other way. For me, the number one way for credibility is like Net Promoter Score is my testimonials. To date in the multifamily movement, we've helped 798 people close on their first multifamily home. We're going to cross 800 this week. And so together we close on over $300 million worth of real estate. So if you have to choose between me and some other person who's claiming to teach about real estate, and they have their own story and 3 testimonials, and not even testimonials, results, because some people can give testimonials that haven't got a result, right? Facts, I'm talking about real results. Then you have to make a decision based on that. I know that through my system and processes, I've realized as an educator, as a real estate educator, in addition to investor and developer, is that it's not just about the transfer of information, right? I have to be here for your transformation. And so the multifamily movement is not just a series of videos, right? there's actually a whole bunch of accountability structures that my team implements to make sure that you actually get through the information and take action on it. That's why we have so many results, is because it's really about the accountability. And it's my methodology is rooted in the same program that my mother ended up going through, which was Alcoholics Anonymous. It's around accountability to keep people sober, right? So if that structure can keep people sober and navigate an addiction, but I can take that same methodology of the collective accountability, the milestones and things of that nature, and integrate that into you closing on your first multifamily home. Now we're moving towards we're not unifying around something that was negative, which was an addiction. We're actually unifying around something that is positive, which is you creating generational wealth for your family.
Yeah, and my mom was actually in NA. So I remember going to meetings with her, sidebar.
Yeah.
Because you mentioned the AA. But yeah, she used to always get the keychains with the colors.
And the coins, yep.
And so like they would show the checkpoints and the length of time that you've been able to stay consistent.
Yeah.
And I think that's important, right? Because you mentioned like having that accountability, having that success coach that might be in there, making sure, hey, this is what we covered. Where we at? Okay, we got somebody new. Let me pair you with maybe a accountability partner or a battle buddy or something to get you up to speed, or just making sure that you don't fall too far behind.
Yeah.
But again, man, just so many things that you just dropped there. I also want to dial back to you had talked about like that corporate pyramid, right?
Yeah.
And normally when people hear the word pyramid, they also attribute that to like another like scam or pyramid scheme and stuff like that. But I think they neglect that the corporate pyramid is actually what could be looked at as a real scheme.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's going to keep you trapped. It's going to keep you safe. So talk about how, even if someone's getting some comfortable revenue, right? How they can maybe take some of that revenue and then start investing in, multifamily movement, the multifamily real estate, to start maybe if they're not going to fully jump into entrepreneurship, because that could be a little scary for some people. They could at least have some cash flow and some passive income, because if they lose that job, they won't be in a situation like that your mom was in
100%.
back then that she was.
100%. So a couple of things for those who are in corporate and have W-2 jobs. The first thing is keep your cost of living as low as possible, not to a place of discomfort. I want you to enjoy life and enjoy it right here and right now. But when you get a pay raise, you do not want to actually increase your cost of living, because otherwise you're in the same rat race, or just at a higher rate. Yeah. You actually have to run faster. So if you were making 60 and you were living at 40, when you get that pay raise to 80, don't jump to 60 in terms of your expenses. Maybe go up to 45 or maybe 50, because now that extra $10,000, that extra $15,000, that's actually money that you can now put to work. You have two jobs. Your first job is to work for money, and your second job is to make money work for you. And most people fail at their second job, right? You're doing well at your first job, but you fail at your second job. And when do you do that? Well, when you're making your money work, right? All of your employees, you have Washington, Lincoln, right? Hamilton, Benjamin Franklin, these are your employees, and you have to make them work. And so if you leave them in a savings account, you're only getting 0.03% interest in a savings account.
They're getting fat in the savings account.
And actually, they're not getting fat. They're actually losing weight due to inflation.
Losing weight.
They're losing weight due to inflation, right? Because inflation is, I call it -8. They say inflation is 8%. No. That's making you think it's going up in a good way. No, it's -8, meaning that your money is going down, right? The $100 from last year is only $92 this year in terms of buying power. And so if you use the rule of 72, let me just put this in perspective for you. If you use the rule of 72, it tells you how long it takes you to double your money. 72 divided by 0.03, which is the savings account rate in your Bank of America, it will take you 2,400 years to double your money in a Bank of America savings account.
I don't think we're going to be around that long.
No, 2,400 years. Now, if you were able to make your money work at 12%, right, meaning that you're getting a 12% annual rate of return, 72 divided by 12 means that your money is doubling every 6 years, right? So your responsibility with any excess cash, you also have to be careful in the American dream. They call it disposable income. Disposable means trash. And so now you're starting to think of extra money as trash. No, you want duplicatable income, right? And so your job, your second job after your day job, is to make the excess duplicatable. You're supposed to invest it in stocks, real estate, your own business. Now, what is the easiest business for you to start? And many of you hate your job. Many of you hate your jobs because you feel like you're powerless, but the skill set that you develop there actually are valuable outside, and you could get paid more for it.
That's a really good point.
So your law firm, for instance, they're charging billable hours $500 an hour, but they're only paying you $100. Now, $100 an hour is $200,000 a year.
That's pretty good,
right? But where's that extra $400 going? Of course, they have overhead, the buildings, and things of that nature. But do you realize they're still charging for your skill set? So if you could actually go out and market yourself and get an equal client, you could actually be keeping the $500 in total. Or let's say you can't charge what your law firm is charging. Let's say you charge $350 or $400. Now you are making 3 to 4 times more off the same skill set, all because you knew how to market yourself. You knew how to market yourself. So you still need to keep your LinkedIn profile up to date, not just for headhunters, but in a certain way, you actually have to show that you're also available to work with clients on the side, as long as it doesn't violate your employment contract. Yeah. And so you want to build, if you're thinking about entrepreneurship, you don't just have to jump ship and then just say, I'm out here winging it. You can actually build the revenue in a secondary business up to a point before you actually make that transition. Now, it will likely not get to the point where it matches your salary. Why? Because that's where faith comes in. At some point, for another idea to grow substantially, you have to fully commit. You can't be 40 hours over here and put 10 hours over here and expect that 10 hours to match the 40. At some point, God is going to challenge you to say, if you truly believe in this and yourself, you have to release that in order for this to expand. And that's what I had to do. I quit my job January 9th, 2009 at the bottom of the last recession. And I had $18,000 saved, and my expenses were $3,000 a month. So I had a 6-month runway. Yeah. And I had to figure it out. But guess what? Over 10 years later,
figured it out.
I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm here, right? Yeah. And with more abundance than I could ever imagine, even more abundance than if I had taken the traditional corporate job coming out of business school, right? So this is just
that's a fact.
Yeah. So when I left business school, I went and worked at a nonprofit. I did marketing for a nonprofit, but I knew that I was going to quit once I reached that 18-month savings, or that $18,000 in savings, or the 18-month mark. So knowing that I had a forced deadline based on my savings goal or my time goal, it forced me to get everything in order for my transition, to maximize the skill sets and the opportunities that employment opportunity was offering me, build my network, build my social capital, right? Build my financial capital, build my intellectual capital. I learned all kinds of skills it was like paid scholarship, right? And I knew that I needed these things to actually be able to go out on my own. And so having that specific deadline, because guess what they did? Month 17, they offered me a raise.
That was a temp.
That was a temp.
Yep.
It was a temp.
It was like, yo, what you want? Do you really want it? You got this plan, but here's a little carrot.
Yeah.
It looks good. It could be attractive.
Yeah, and why couldn't you give me that raise? Why didn't you give me that raise before? Right? Right? You had the money, obviously, right? So they offered me a raise, but I knew what my purpose was. Yeah. And my purpose was not to be there. I served them in that gap while I was actually refining what my purpose was and how to match my blessing model, which is how I give to the world, and my business model, which is how I receive back, so that I can give at a greater and greater level. You have to have both. A lot of people are great givers, but they are not great receivers. And your business model is how you receive money from the marketplace so that you can keep on giving.
Yeah. So I got this this methodology, right? I really work to make it very simple, especially when I'm talking to entrepreneurs of how they can receive money.
Yes.
Right. So what I notice, right, when if it's a brand new entrepreneur, or maybe they're good at their business, but they got all these processes, and the processes are making it harder for them to, let's say, receive money. I say, hey, listen, well, if you're in a metropolitan city, like a busy city, 9 times 10, there's a homeless person, maybe on a busy street, busy corner, right? So the homeless person knows something that a lot of entrepreneurs overlook. A lot of entrepreneurs, business owners, they're like, yo, I need the email list, I need the text message list, I need the funnels, I need the websites, I need all my assets done. I need all my products done. I need the software. The homeless person doesn't have none of that. They're going to the business corner where there's traffic. Yeah. Right? They're going to have a message they're going to maybe write it on a piece of cardboard or something. It might be funny. It might be witty. It might be straight to the point, right? It might be brash, whatever it is, or it could be wholesome. And they're going to have a cup. Now, a cup they could have got from yesterday. So they got their message. They're right where traffic is, and they have a way for people to pay them. And a lot of them now might even have Cash App or Venmo, right? They're giving opportunities, right? But a lot of entrepreneurs, that's why I'm even sharing it, because you talked about it very clear right there. create an opportunity to receive the money.
Yes.
And you should have that.
Yeah.
Right. And I've even I remember I was trying to get a car wash before I left. I've been away for like 3 weeks from home. Just kind of like moving around and stuff like that. I was trying to get a car wash. The dude had one way to pay.
Yeah.
I'm like, I can't pay that way. So I can't pay you this way, this way, this way, this. I have 5 different ways that I can pay you.
Right.
But you have one way to receive, and I can't do that. So you're just gonna not receive.
Yeah.
So I think that is huge, man.
So the action you all need to take, just to make this actionable,
Yeah.
you need to go get a PayPal,
Yeah.
a Cash App,
Facts.
Zelle,
Yeah.
Venmo.
Yeah.
You need to just have those on
Stripe,
deck.
get Stripe,
And then
get
Stripe
Stripe
as
too.
well.
Yeah.
And then also get the reader for your phone,
Yeah.
the Square reader for your phone.
Facts.
You just need to have ways for people to pay you. Just by opening up the ways for people to pay you, opportunities to get paid are going to come. Now, one of the biggest breakthroughs for me in building my business was redefining sales. Okay, sales is often thought of as something that's sleazy. You're trying to get over on people. You're not trying to get over on people. You're trying to help people get over something
Yeah.
that they've been struggling with.
Yeah.
Okay, it's not about persuasion. It's not about convincing people to do something that they don't want to do. Right. So the definition of sales, I changed my definition of sales. It was like a divine download that came to me, and it opened up the floodgates.
All right,
for
y'all
me.
need to pay attention because it
Right.
sounds like it's about to go crazy.
It's going to be simple. Sales is simply the process of getting someone to accept help. That's it.
That's pretty good.
That's all it is.
I normally define it as sharing, but I think that even makes it even more crystal clear, right? Because you can't help no one if they aren't looking at it that way.
100%.
Yeah.
So a lot of people are trying to do it on their own. They're trying to fix their marriage on their own. They're trying to build their business on their own. They're trying to build a podcast studio on their own, right? And so we're in this YouTube university era and everybody's trying to DIY. But again, DIY is going to cost them time, money, and mistakes. And so sales is really you sharing, right, in a way that lets them know that they might actually know what they're doing and that YouTube is not going to be enough, and getting them to a position where they're willing to say, I accept help. I give up trying to do it on my own. I keep making mistakes. I keep wasting money. My marriage isn't getting better. My business isn't getting better, et cetera. I actually need help. That's all sales is. And the reason you're willing to sell them is because you know you can help them get to their desired destination faster, safer, and easier than if they continue to try to do it on their own. So you actually have to have a solution that you believe, and not even believe, but know is gonna help them get to where they're trying to go better than if you allow them to leave your presence and go after it on their own. What's up, y'all? It's Jullien Gordon, aka Mr. Multifamily, and I'm on the Pursuit podcast with Brendan Boyd. Here's my book, Rich and Righteous, Spiritual Secrets, Mastering Money Manifestation in Your Mind. Go to richrightnow.com. That's richrightnow.com. I'll give you the first 2 chapters for absolutely free. The first one on what is money. Do you even know what money is? The second one is on abundance is your birthright. And for those of you who are interested, I'm going to be doing a free 100-day money mindset reprogram. We're going to read 3 to 5 pages of the book every single day together as a community. Last time we had hundreds of people there, about 600 people every single day. This time we're going to have thousands. When you go to richrightnow.com, you'll get free access to that as well. So go check that out. It's been a pleasure being on the podcast, and let's get back to the episode.
I like that, man. I like that. Simply
the process of getting someone to accept help. That's it.
Yeah. Sharing that information.
Yeah.
That's actually mind blowing. It really changes the perspective because now you really feel like you can serve people, right? And obviously you're going to go through the numbers, but as you continue to create different conversations and meet different people, you're not thinking about, oh, I need to close a sale. You're like, yo, I just need to allow this person to see that it's, if they're ready to receive the help, I'm ready to help them.
100%. Yeah. And I can, and I'm the best person to help them.
To do it. Yeah. So that switch, what did that switch allow you to do in terms of growing your business?
Yeah.
So that's switching your mindset from being able to share and help people, right? Allowing them to receive the help.
Yeah.
How did that change with how you receive money and just your mindset and your business when actually growing it?
Yeah, so you'll notice if
Big
you go,
money.
You'll notice what started to change for me on my Instagram feed is that I always had an offer.
Yeah.
I always had the cup. I wasn't homeless, but I had the
Always
cup.
had the cup.
So at the end of all my videos, go to rentfree.com to learn how to finance, find, and finalize multifamily real estate deals. So rather than just creating content and just hoping that it created goodwill, hoping that it creates goodwill in the marketplace, no, I said, I'm gonna make an offer to people. Come to my free webinar. And then when I got to the point in my webinars where it was time to make an offer, I stood in my confidence based on my results, right? Not just standing in fake confidence with this kind of car, this kind of house, these kind of clothes. No, confidence based on what I've been able to do for myself in terms of my own real estate portfolio and what I've been able to do for others. Because I know if you leave this webinar and you go try to do this on your own, you're going to miss all the nuances and you're going to leave so much money on the table on your first deal. And I want you to keep that. Yeah. And all I'm going to do is ask for a fraction of that in terms of payment for me to help you.
Yeah.
Now, in my industry, one of the big players is Fortune Builders. Fortune Builders charges $30,000 for what I teach, right? I went to their hotel meeting in New Orleans, and I actually believe that their program is worth $30,000, right? Because I've made over $30,000 in real estate. So I know that that information is actually worth it. But they charge beginners so much on the front end, right, for the education that they are left with no money for the execution.
Yeah.
So I left that and said, I'm going to reduce the cost of the education so that my people have more money for the execution. And this is why I have so many documented results. Even Fortune Builders probably does not have as many documented success stories as me, despite how long they've been around. And I believe the good work that they're doing. So this is where I got confident in sales, and I'm not afraid to sell because I know what I have actually works. Yeah. If you found the cure to cancer, right? Let's say we found it in this couch. Somebody gave us, and there's this brown piece of paper, and we found the cure to cancer.
First of all, I'd be like, why is the cure to cancer in your couch? Well, how?
Right.
What's going on? What's going on?
Right. We just found the cure to cancer. What would be our next goal?
The offer.
The goal would be to get it out to as many people who have cancer as possible.
Share it.
You're not just gonna hide and say, I just hope that people with cancer find me. And
they're not gonna find it in College Park.
No, you have to go out there and share that you have the solution, right? And then make an invitation for them to use that solution or try that solution in their life. And so,
and then charge for it.
Yeah. Why do you charge for it? You charge the initial patients, right? So that you can actually go market more and find the others, because there's millions of people who suffer from this. If you undercharge the initial payment, like I saw this gas station that was out of business, right? And guess what the prices were on the gas? $1.98 something, right? They were trying to.
Yeah, they were undercharging.
They were undercharging, and it did not allow them to sustain their business, and so now they can't serve anyone at all.
Yeah, out of business.
They're out of business because they were trying to undercharge, maybe out of a feeling of, oh, I want to make this as affordable as possible for people. But if you do that, then it might rob you from actually reaching all the people that you're meant to reach.
That's game right there, because people do think if I lower my prices, there's a psychology with that. Like if I lower my prices, I'm going to be able to sell more, serve more. People are going to buy my stuff. Yeah. But it actually works like in the reverse.
It does.
So it's like when you're on an airplane, right? I tend to share this as well. When you're on the airplane, first class is typically always sold out. Now, we're all on the same plane. They're going to get a little bit more support. They probably got the menu, maybe a pillow. They got the headphones. The flight attendant's going to speak to them a little bit longer. They might see the captain, right? And it's only a limited amount of seats. Yeah. Whereas the economy, where the ticket prices are a little bit less, is hundreds of people, right? You got that third row. You're uncomfortable. Flight attendant may take a little longer. There's a line to get to the bathroom, right? So people are willing to pay premium, and the people that you meet paying premium are also premium, right? So the thought process is to have your products and services priced at and according to the market, right? Or even if you're going to have it a little bit less, maybe that's a flash, limited time. Maybe that's an intro offer, right? But you still have a version of your product or service that's large enough that's going to serve people that see themselves at premium. Right? By having a lower price, you're not saving that person's money. That person just spending their premium dollars with someone else.
Yeah, 100%. Tesla did it, right? Yeah. So Tesla started with the Model S, right? And that was their higher end car. And actually producing and building an infrastructure based on that premium client then allowed them to come downstream and create the model.
I think it was the Roadster. The Roadster was first. But that was
Roadster,
really high.
Then the S, yes. And being able to create that premium product and serve allowed them to build the entire infrastructure, so then they can now produce the Model 3 and the Model Y for the masses. If they try to do it the other way around, if Fruit of the Loom started charging $100 for a t-shirt. now. Would you buy it?
Probably not.
Right? Because they probably been in a volume-based business. And if you're in a volume-based business, just know that you're in a volume-based business, because the infrastructure to support a volume-based business, it costs more than the infrastructure to support a premium-based business.
Definitely. It would be a little interesting if Walmart came out with premium value offers. You know, I think they would sell.
Well, did you see that Instagram video where Payless actually did a sample high-end Payless store? They rebranded the store. It was the same exact shoes. Yeah. They changed the name of the brands on the shoes and things of that nature. And people were like, oh yeah, I love this.
It sold out. Same shoes. So they just rebranded, changed the name of the shoes, right? And then just totally different positioning, and people bought it, right? And they're like,
higher perceived value.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Crazy,
man.
Right?
That's what it is. But when you have that and then the value's there, it's like a no-brainer.
Yeah.
So I think, you know, I think it is important to your point, change your way of thinking around how you charge and how you're going to receive money.
Yeah.
And then have an offer that's going to serve people that see themselves as value, because then that's going to allow you to receive that abundance.
Yeah, it's universal law, right? So as you give, so you shall receive. So in order to give more, you have to receive more.
That's crazy.
So many of us are good at giving, right? And when we can't figure out a business model, we say, oh, this should just be a nonprofit.
Yeah.
Because we can't figure out a business model. But even in a nonprofit, you still have to learn how to receive.
100%.
Right? And so if you learn how to receive, it's actually going to put you in position to give more.
Yeah.
And so we have to develop that muscle equally. A lot of us get caught up in being overgivers, and this is why we feel burned out, depleted, and frustrated. But once you learn how to receive at the level of your giving, then it creates a virtuous cycle, and that cycle just continues to get bigger and bigger and bigger. And this is how you see your impact grow, is because your ability to receive is matching the level of giving that you want. If I want to help 100,000 people achieve $1 million in net worth, I have to receive at a huge level in order to do that. Right? When I set out my first goal for the multifamily movement, help 300 people close, right? 300 was the number Harriet Tubman had helped free through the Underground Railroad. So that was my number. When I send that message to the creator as prayer or affirmation or on my vision board, right? Guess what? In order to help 300 people close on multifamily real estate, I have to receive a lot, because it's going to require a lot of money in order for me to market, to support, to build curriculum, et cetera, to support them. Not only did it require $1 million for that actual vision, but it also resulted in me having $1 million because I helped them achieve their goals, right? So most people's vision board doesn't require them to be a millionaire. They say they want to be
Most people's vision board doesn't require them to be a millionaire.
Because if you look at all the things on their vision board, they can get almost all of them, with the exception of the house, for like $200,000. They could pay off their student debt. I'm debt free. I got the car that I wanted. I got these clothes, this and that. Most vision boards are selfish.
So you're talking about the vision should be bigger.
Your vision, if you want to be a millionaire, your vision needs to require you to have $1 million and or result in you having $1 million. Yeah. When I set out to help 300 people, God was like, yeah, you're going to need $1 million for that. That started circulating to me. Definitely. And it also resulted in me having abundance and leftover and overflow of $1 million as well in terms of my overflow. I was already a millionaire prior to even teaching this, right? But I'm just saying in terms of that specific vision, right? So you need a bigger vision. Your vision board needs to expand beyond just you. This is why you don't need $1 million. That's precisely why you don't have it. You don't need it. Everything you need in life, guess what? You got. You got oxygen, you got food, you got a roof over your head, you got somebody to help you with your kids, you got everything you need. You don't get your wants, you get your needs. And until you make $1 million a need for you, a legitimate need. Need is the highest form of desire. Need is the highest form of desire, because if the oxygen got sucked out of this room, we would desire oxygen right now.
Yes.
Need is
pay a premium for it.
And pay a premium for it. Need is the highest form of desire. So right now you don't need $1 million. This is precisely why you don't have it.
Yeah, that's crazy. I like that. The conviction is there, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm on the pod and I could just imagine how it's gonna convey to the audience, and I know it's gonna wake someone up.
That's one person.
I know it's gonna make someone pick something up that they have put down. I know it's gonna make somebody move now.
Yeah.
And and take action.
Yeah.
And
think bigger.
Think bigger,
family, about what's possible for you in your life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%. Hey, are you an entrepreneur or a business owner and you feel like you had a ceiling in your business? Well, it's not because there's anything wrong with your products or services. It's simply because you need more exposure. More people need to know who you are and what you do. My name is Brendan Boyd, and I want to help you get on more podcasts, more YouTube shows, and other opportunities to get in front of more people. All you need to do is click that link below and book a call with me or someone from my team, and we're gonna find out if we're a good fit to help you get in front of more people. Let's talk about the tiny homes again.
Yeah.
Man. So what is it? What's a tiny home? What square footage like deems a tiny home first off, and why is this trend like being so popularized now? Like there's a lot of content on YouTube.
Yeah.
Like some of these networks have tiny home channels. I mean, not channels, series and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So what defines a tiny home, and why is this getting more popularized now?
Yeah. So there's actually no definition, and we have to actually create more distinction, because there's tiny homes that are on wheels, that are on the back of a pickup truck. There's tiny homes that are stable, that you can go get from Home Depot or Lowe's and then go put in your backyard as an ADU. And then this is an actual legitimate like tiny home. We actually call this a micro home, right? It has everything, all the features of a home, except it's just smaller in terms of square footage. This is about 600 square feet right here. But guess what? You've been there. There's no tiny furniture in here.
Yeah.
There's no like you got to pull out your bed and do this. This is an actual home, right? So there's like something you put on the back of your trailer. Then there's something you put in your backyard, and then there's like micro homes. And so that's kind of the range. And so why is this becoming so popular? Because the number one expense in our life is going to be housing, whether it's rent or mortgage. Okay, so in Atlanta, the average cost of a home is $400,000. So your mortgage with property, principal, interest, tax, insurance, right? And even repairs, because most people don't account for repairs of a home. When you need a $10,000 roof, where's that coming from? That's coming from your savings account, right? So when you account for setting aside money for repairs, you're going to be spending about $3,000 a month on in terms of that mortgage and other repairs that come along with owning a home. Rent, and the average rent in Atlanta is around $1886, right? And the mortgage on this space, even with 180 in HOA, is only $1,580.
First of all, Atlanta really sounds like, even in this emerging economy, and I know Atlanta is more expensive than it used to be, it still sounds cheap relative to Miami,
100%.
New York,
100%.
California, Chicago, Boston. Where I'm from, Boston's crazy.
Right.
Even Jersey.
100%.
So that's crazy. So this is a brand new home.
Brand new
home.
Community, you're in a park. Blueberries, you pick blueberries on the way to your house. Blueberries and peaches.
Outside right now?
Right. That's cool.
Yo, get some.
On your way into your house.
So how many homes are in this community right now?
29.
So it's 29.
We built these in 10 months.
So you built 29 homes, pretty much this similar spec?
Similar spec, yeah. There's 3 models here.
Okay, in 10 months.
Yeah.
Is there still room to build more in this community?
No, we're done here. We're going to Union City. There's 20 homes going up there, and then in Atlanta proper it'll be about 50.
The same 3 specs. So you're gonna use this model?
We actually 2 new models coming to Union City.
Crazy,
we keep improving the models. Yeah. So why do people do it? Lower than rent. Yeah. Higher quality of life.
How are you able to put these up so quickly? 29 in 10 months sounds. Is that aggressive?
Very aggressive. Okay, but it's the visionary himself, Booker T. Washington. I told you about those transferable skills earlier.
Yeah.
He worked for Tesla.
Oh, okay.
He was an HR at Tesla, so he was able to witness what it looked like to develop these 3 models, right, and do it efficiently under the leadership of one of the greatest visionaries that we have right now in our lifetime, Elon Musk. And so he's applied that same methodology to what we're doing here in Techie Homes. This is why it's called Techie Homes, right? The tech is not just in the internet. It's not just in the solar panels. It's not just in the house being a smart home. The tech is also in how quickly we're able to operate and innovate and design and execute, right? Anytime you improve a process, that is technology. Yes. And the technology is not always a coding.
Software or hardware,
Correct. As ice cream scoop is technology, because otherwise you had to use a spoon and you were bending spoons before. It's a technology. So The efficiency that has happened here has been absolutely amazing.
Yeah, that sounds crazy.
Yeah, because it can take people 4 months to just redo a bathroom in their home.
100%. I got a friend in California right now, and she's been showing me the process of just like doing some renovations in her home. And she spent, first she just focused on both bathrooms,
yeah,
right? Because she got 3 and a 2, and both bathrooms have taken her like 6 months,
right?
And she's still like one's still going, one's done, but one still needs some work.
Yeah. Man,
you got 29 homes in 10 months.
Yep.
She got 2 bathrooms still getting work in 6.
Certificate of occupancy is on 18 of them so far.
That's
so
crazy.
yeah. So I give all praises to Booker T and his training, his vision, and his leadership on that. And so we're just going. There's an affordable housing crisis across this country. So we know that this product is not for everyone, right? We know that it's primarily there's no single family homes for single people in terms of pricing right now, right? Because most home ownership is through couples. And so most single people are getting
roommates.
Yeah, they can't afford the actual house that they actually want. And so this product is for a specific group of people. Of course, not from a Fair Housing Act. Anybody can come and buy, but in terms of who we've been attracting, it's been young professionals who are not married yet, divorced, widows, people who are retired and downsizing, or not even retired yet, but just know they need to downsize. They had a big single family home, kids left, and they're no longer in marriage, and so they're downsizing, and they get to downsize into something new, into a community. Women not having to live alone in a single family home, not having to worry about maintenance because it's a new product, right? They may not need maintenance on this for another 10 years, or like roof, anything, HVAC, all the major things, foundation. Foundation is, we have small foundation here, et cetera. So we're attracting a specific demographic, and we believe that there's a place for this in every single market. It solves the affordable housing crisis. Our goal is to lower than rent, higher quality of living. Okay, so when we look at the mortgage and the HOA, we always want it to be lower than what the average rent is in that market, but obviously give you a higher quality of living. You feel like you're in Brookhaven right now.
Yeah.
When you come into this community, even though you're down here in College Park by the airport, right? So that's the goal. And
so what's the steps for someone to get into one of these properties, right? Is it obviously the same steps that they would take if they would purchase a traditional home?
Kinda and kinda not.
Okay.
Because we have a 4,000 people wait list.
4,000 people wait list. So you can't get these homes up fast enough.
Nope.
So
that's why we raised money. That's why we raised $4.3 million.
So on that wait list, is it like a lottery, or is it first time?
We're gonna have to do a lottery for Union City and for Atlanta proper.
Got you.
Yeah. Just out of fairness and being in alignment with the Fair Housing Act, that's gonna have to be the process.
Well, first of all, man, that's amazing, man. You got a 4,000 wait list of people that are excited to take advantage of, these affordable homes.
Yep.
These techie homes. These homes with a vision that have been built with purpose and built with love and literally
100%.
just developed for the 4,000 plus people that are on this list.
100%.
Right?
Yep.
So that's incredible.
So thank you. We appreciate that. So that's why we raise money, not for a specific project. We raise money for Techie Homes, which is the development company, so that we can scale and build as many homes as possible. So we have 2 additional sites here in Atlanta that we're developing. We had the mayors of College Park, South Fulton, and Atlanta here at our ribbon cutting. So getting the politicians in zoning in alignment is very key. And our big test is going to be taking this vision to a market that is not in Georgia and seeing how we execute from a distance. So, when we're able to do that, we know that every major market, there's opportunity there to serve a specific demographic of people who are tired of paying rent and want a new product. A lot of the housing inventory, single family homes, is really, really old. It's really, really old. So even if you get in at the same price point as this, right, you still got a lot of work to do, even though you might get square footage. And then that maintenance is ongoing. That's what they never tell you about buying a single family home is after your mortgage, you still need to set aside at least 1% of the price of that home for annual repairs.
Yeah.
And this is why grandma has to sell her house, because even though she bought the house and she might own it free and clear, there's still property taxes that have gone up. There's still insurance that has gone up, and there's still maintenance that has gone up. So even though the house is free and clear in terms of hers, she still has expenses, and now she's on fixed income. So this is part of the reason why grandma has to sell her house. It's not because of gentrification. It's because property taxes, insurance, and maintenance on a 30-year-old home are up.
Yeah, facts.
So we
never know what can come out of that. It could be foundation, cracking, pipe.
And where grandma gonna get that? And now she's house poor. But not only grandma, there's a lot of people who are house poor, especially people who bought single family homes at low interest rates. What nobody told them is that when the interest, so they bought a home that was really worth 500, right? They bought it for 600 at 3% interest rate. They're focused on the interest rate. What nobody told them is that when that interest rate rises to 6%, the value of that home
gonna decrease
because the pool of buyers actually goes down, the buying power. So now that home that they bought for 500, right, is now worth 450. So now they're underwater. They're stuck. Now they have their 3% interest rate, but they're stuck because now they're underwater because the buyer pool is not as strong at a 6% interest rate. So I hope that anybody who bought during that time, which seemed like great times, I hope that you love the home. I really hope that you love the home.
You're gonna be there.
You're gonna be there. Ain't nowhere to go.
Yeah, you're gonna be there.
So
wanted to ask you this too. So entrepreneurs out there that want to buy a home, that may not have W-2s.
Yeah.
They can't just get their W-2s and then, apply for a loan. What's the path for some of these entrepreneurs that may have just maybe fully transitioned and they want to buy a home?
Yeah.
What does that package look like that they need to position themselves to put themselves in a position they get a multifamily?
Great question. So I was an entrepreneur when I bought my first one, right? And I was still able to use FHA. But for an entrepreneur who has inconsistent income, they're going to need, there's bank statement loans. So as long as your business, right, is actually revenue is hitting the bottom line, you can use a bank statement loan. Bank statement loan is going to require a higher down payment and have a higher interest rate, but that is out there. What I encourage entrepreneurs to do, if your business is cash flowing consistently, one, start paying yourself out of the business bi-weekly, right? So for just simplicity, you don't have to go get payroll and things of that nature. For simplicity, just $1,500, $2,000 a month coming as a wire transfer to you personally. The lender will take into account your personal income and the business's income. So doing that will actually decrease your tax liability because your tax bracket will be down personally, et cetera. So that's what I encourage. But you really need to, the reason I do that because, listen, let's say you stepped into festivals, right? And your festival, you're an entrepreneur and you're doing festivals and you only do 2 a year. So you have income pops 2 months out of the year. But because you were paying yourself consistently, right, the lender will see, oh, you're still getting paid consistently, even though the business's revenue spikes 2 times in the year. So that's really, really key because you have to think like the lender. Well, I'm an entrepreneur and I'm even actually making more money than I made when I was at a job, but it's inconsistent. So they want to see the consistency there. You still have, money still has to hit the bottom line. To a lender, they are more concerned with you being able to make monthly payments than seeing how much money you have saved in an account. So if you have a $500,000 saved, but you aren't making any income, lender's not going to lend to you because they're more concerned with the consistency of cash flow coming in because they know they're about to take 1/3 of it for your housing expense in the form of a mortgage.
Yeah, that's really good. And I think it kind of provides some clarity because I feel like, if you're just operating out of like one bank account, one checking account, maybe one savings account, you're not sending money to other accounts to show that money's going out to pay you.
Yes.
Right. Everything's just staying in one account.
Correct.
So it's going to put you in a position where, now you got to start that discipline and that routine. So you can't buy the house, or you can't put yourself in a position to buy the house in that fashion.
Yeah.
If you don't have that going.
One thing that also helped when I was getting financed is that I was able to send future contracts. So I sent future contracts to my lender to show like, look, this contract's already signed because I was in college speaking at the time.
Yeah.
And so I bought the home in May, but I had a whole bunch of speaking engagements coming up in July and August as students were starting school. Yeah, so I showed them, I sent future contracts of a guaranteed revenue, contractual revenue coming in the future months just to add to my file.
Yeah. That's good. That's good. So let's talk about the book really quick, man. And I would love to get a tour of the spot. And I want to show you guys what's really going on the grounds, man. So, So let's talk about your book.
Yeah, man. So the book is Rich and Righteous, Spiritual Secrets to Mastering Money Manifestation in Your Mind. It was a divine download that came to me at the beginning of COVID. I knew that the world was going to slip into a scarcity consciousness. And as I said before, I quit my job at the bottom of the last recession.
Yeah.
So it was my abundance mindset, right, that allowed me to navigate that and thrive in that. Not just survive, but thrive in that. And so all these manifestations that you've seen in my life, from my own real estate portfolio to my student success, et cetera, I knew I had to demonstrate be a public demonstrator, just like Jesus was. I had to be a public demonstrator first before teaching people the unseen spiritual principles, that mental mindset that was actually behind it all. And so this was my opportunity to share with people how I think about money, how I think about wealth, how I think about life, how I think about my relationship to God, and how it is manifested in all the abundance that you see. I don't perceive any money as my money. My name is not on any dollar bill. Right? It is all, money is just stored energy. It's an inert spiritual substance that I get to use to do good and do God's work here on earth. And when I redefine it as that, then it changed the way I related to it. 13 out of 39 of Jesus' parables were about money, because we can easily have a perverted or inverted relationship with money that actually takes us away from the divinity that is within us and the abundance that is meant to be ours. And so
it gets distracted.
It gets distracted and it becomes the goal. It is a means to an end. It is not the end, right? And so, but many of us get it confused, and we end up serving money, and money becomes our master. And so in the book, I explain what money is. I explain why abundance is your birthright as a child of God. And then I go through the 10 money commandments that draw money to you. How do you think about money? How do you speak about money? How do you receive money? Part of the conversation that we have. So these are some of the 10 money commandments, and really it's about making money come. They're commandments. It says thy kingdom. It's thy kingdom come. You actually don't have to chase money. When you start chasing money, if you chase a cat, it's going to run from you.
Definitely.
Right? But if you have what a cat needs, then
that's all girls are too, bro.
Same, right?
Girls, I'd be like, I'd be having to chase them. The ones I don't like, they'd be like knocking.
Don't chase. So same thing with money, right? You actually want to have what it needs and what it wants, and then it will come to you. So we want to attract. We want to attract. And one of the best ways to attract money is by having a valuable solution that can help as many people as possible. And so we're actually doing a 100-day money mindset reprogram. I did it before. We read 3 to 5 pages of the book every single morning for consistency's sake for about 100 days. So that starts on September 2nd. That's our kickoff. And then we're going to be reading about 3 to 5 pages of the book every single day in the morning together as a collective, and until we get through the end. And the reason you have to do it consistently, that's how you reprogram the subconscious mind, through repetition, right? So you can't just, this is not something you can binge watch and then you're transformed. You actually have to do it every single day, because every single day you go out into the world, you're getting programmed into negative ideas about money. Oh, it's a recession. Money is scarce. All of these programs are coming to you through the media, through your job, etc. And so we have to counter that by doing this work every single day. Every single day.
That's why morning routine and your daily routine,
correct.
Your evening routine is important. Having accountability partners, being in proximity,
all of that.
Great people like this.
All of that.
You know what I'm saying? So that's dope. So how do they get into that?
They just go to richrightnow.com.
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 They'll be able to sign up and they'll get updates in September.
Yep, and I'll give them the first 2 chapters of the book for free. What is money and abundance is your birthright. That's just free gift for you. And then you'll get reminded about when we start in September, and it's going to be a journey. You set your phone alarm and wake up, and it's going to blow your mind. The first 2 chapters are going to blow your mind. But then when you have me reading it, when is the last time you had an author care so much that they read their book to you? Not just audio book, but actually went into detail and actually was teaching from the book as they read it. See, for me, it's not about just getting the book in your hands. It's about getting it into your head and your heart, be it the conscious and subconscious mind, because that's where the real transformation takes place. And so, that was a nudge, a spiritual nudge last November, the first time we did it. God said, wake up and read your book. Like, okay, out of obedience, I just did it. Hundreds of people started coming on. We had over 600 people coming daily to these readings. And there's churches out there that don't even have 600 people come on one Sunday. So I know there's something powerful here. And so we're doing it again, bigger and better. Hope to have thousands of people.
No, you will. You definitely will. And I'm going to help you with that, bro. I'm going to share that.
I appreciate that.
I love that. And I think there's a lot of people I know that will love to be a part of that. Or it could be just right on time for them. And I also do these monthly meetups in different cities, like business meetups. So maybe there's a way that we can incorporate that, and I can at least get that messaging out to them.
Dope.
Hopefully, I would love to have you come to one.
Yeah, I would love that. The book's right there. So and I got a copy for you that I'll sign before you head out. So this is the book, Rich and Righteous: Spiritual Secrets of Mastering Money Manifestation in Your Mind. This is not some ebook, y'all. That's an inch thick right there.
That's a Bible.
That's a Bible. This is your financial Bible right here.
Financial Bible.
100%. So
Awesome. Okay, and if someone's watching this or listen to this,
Yeah.
you're closing in on 100 people that you're helping.
1,000, yeah.
Closing, right? I meant to say 1,000.
Yeah.
Closing on property.
Yeah.
Multifamily. If they wanted to be one of the next in that, movement, how can they get into the multifamily movement?
Yeah, you can go to rentfree.com. That's rentfree.com. You're trying to get rid of your housing expense, rentfree.com. That'll be an invitation to my next webinar whenever I do it. And I'll teach you how to find and finalize your first multifamily real estate deal. And if you believe that I'm the best person to help you get there on what I call the above ground railroad, literally multifamily real estate is above ground and is a pathway to freedom.
Yeah.
I would love to help you. I've helped almost 800 people. We'll have 800 this week. I'm pretty certain of that. And I know I can help you. There's only one person who I can't help succeed, and that's the person who is chronically unemployed.
Yeah.
They are happily receiving an unemployment check. They are not looking forward to getting employed ever again because you don't have income. Even if you've been bankrupt, we just have to wait 24 months after discharge. And so since I know most of you are not chronically unemployed and you're not bankrupt, I know I can help you succeed. I have people all over the country in expensive markets. I have single moms. I have people, veterans, people on disability, because disability, there's still fixed income there.
Yeah.
Just how high is your fixed income? So I've helped people all different walks of life and background close on their first multifamily home in different markets, different situations, and I know I can help you.
Man, this has been amazing, man. I appreciate you inviting me to your tiny
brother.
home.
I appreciate you. Yes,
You know what I'm
yes.
saying? We're about to check out the property. You guys are gonna see that, hopefully. Not hopefully, you're definitely gonna see a little bit of the grounds. And yeah, man, this has been great. So normally I ask, any book recommendations and stuff like that, but this is the recommendation right here.
Right.
This is a recommendation. There'll be a link below so you can tap into that.
I've read it over 10 times, and I still get divine downloads as I'm reading it.
So when did you finish this?
I finished this January 2021?
Okay.
Yeah, January 2021.
Oh, got you.
Yeah.
How long did it take you?
6 months. Waking up at 3 a.m. Every single morning.
That's the hour too.
So yeah, Spirit woke me up, and literally, I don't feel like my name should be here. I feel like I was the channel, but this like when I read, I was like, I wrote that?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I read it 10 times and I still get gems from it. So I'm just grateful to be used in this way. So
that's fire, bro. That's fire. All right, man. This is another podcast, another amazing podcast.
Another one.
On the Pursuit podcast with my guy, Jullien Gordon.
Yes, yes.
You guys got to definitely make sure that you subscribe to his YouTube channel. Follow him on all the social media, what's Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, everything.
It's Jullien, 2 L's, IEN, Gordon, Gordon, Jullien.
And grab the book below.
Yes.
Make sure you guys tap in. Definitely comment, subscribe if you enjoyed this episode. Yeah, man. Definitely let him help you buy a house.
Salute.
Let's go.